It's Friday, January 30th, 2026. Welcome to episode 189 of the Alameda Postcast, an audio service of the Alameda Post. I'm your host, Scott Peeler. In this edition of the Postcast, Chevron promises to clean things up again. Bay Farm foam. Labor issues at Kaiser and AUSD. Alameda County wants you. A local coffee shop says goodbye for now. The Kindness Coalition spreads a little love. Events for your weekend. And be sure to get in your nominations for the Alameda Stars. These stories and more on this episode of the Alameda Postcast. Our top story, stop me if you've heard this one before, Chevron is going to clean up tar waste on Alameda Point. The area in question is the fenced area between the former Pottery Barn outlet location and Skylark. The tar waste has quite a history. The site was the location of a kerosene production facility. That facility closed 123 years ago in 1903. When the Naval Air Station was constructed, the problem was kicked down the road by dumping 10 feet of soil on top of it. In 2021, at the urging of the San Francisco Bay Regional Water Quality Control Board, Chevron agreed to return to Alameda Point and clean up the tar waste. That process didn't get going until 2023, when Chevron took 43 soil samples to characterize the extent of the contamination. 2 years later, in September of 2025, Chevron finally submitted their plan for digging up the tar to the Water Board. The Water Board and Chevron are currently ironing out details, with formal approval by the board expected soon. Chevron's investigation found that most of the old tar is located in about one-third of the former refinery site, roughly parallel with the area where the original shoreline was located. The plan is to excavate soil down to a depth of 7 feet. Since very little, if any, tar was found in the upper 3 feet of soil, the cleanup plan states, quote, "It is anticipated that the top 3 feet of soil will be able to be reused as backfill," end quote. The soil will be set aside and tested for various potential contaminants. If the soil is clean, gypsum will be mixed in with the reusable soil before the bottom 2.5 feet of excavation is filled in. The addition of gypsum soil amendments has been proven to increase the natural biodegradation of petroleum hydrocarbons in the ground. Clean soil will be used to fill in the remainder of the pits. This isn't the first time the tarry waste problem has been tackled. In 1940, after hot weather caused gases to be produced in the tar and led to expansion of the soil and a notable impact at the surface, the Navy excavated an area approximately 30 by 30 and placed a concrete slab at the bottom of the excavation. But the specific location of the excavation area was never recorded, and Chevron soil sampling throughout the site did not encounter the slab. Water Board engineering geologist Yamiya Hashimoto told the Alameda Post, quote, "If this slab is encountered within that depth, it will be removed as part of the excavation. If it is not encountered, then it will remain in place as it has been since 1940, end quote. The ironic part is that the waste tar would not be considered waste today. After a little more refining, it becomes bitumen, a key ingredient in asphalt and roofing materials. Chevron expects the work to begin in spring. Full story in Richard Bangert's article at alamedapost.com/news. Speaking of cleanup, a lot of folks were wondering if a cleanup was needed on Bay Farm. Last week, residents noted a white foamy substance stretching out across the top of the lagoon. Soap? Frost? Fortunately, the answer was rather pedestrian. Seafoam. According to the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, seafoam forms when its contents, a fascinating stew of dissolved salts, proteins, fats, dead algae, detergents, and other pollutants, along with bits of organic and artificial matter, are vigorously shaken up, typically by wind and waves. Why Bay Farm? Public Works Director Aaron Smith told the Alameda Post, quote, "The presence of seafoam in the lagoon may have resulted from the city's routine movement of bay water into the lagoon and or from seafoam that was already present in the bay and carried into the lagoon. The foam largely dissipated within a few hours of initial observation," end quote. There is no evidence that the foam was caused by any type of algal bloom. Stories and pictures in Kelsey Gore's article at alamedapost.com/news. Last week, we reported that negotiations between the Alameda Unified School District and the Alameda Education Association were ongoing as the educators attempt to reach a new contract with the district. The meeting on Thursday, the 22nd, did not lead to an agreement. In a notice on the AUSD website, the district indicated that a second session has now been scheduled for Thursday, February 5th. On the site, the district noted, quote, "If the current rounds of mediation don't result in an agreement, the two teams will enter fact-finding, in which a panel reviews the arguments and proposals of both sides and then provides a recommended course of action," end quote. The AUSD website may be reached at alamedaunified.org. As details are available, we'll pass them along at alamedapost.com. This issue is a passionate one. You can find opinions on the matter at alamedapost.com/op-ed. Even the crows from Two Birds from Alameda have some thoughts. On the subject of labor issues, as of this past Monday, thousands of Kaiser Permanente workers across California and Hawaii are now on strike. Thus far, no facilities or offices have closed. A total of 31,000 employees are represented by the United Nurses Associations of California / Union of Healthcare Professionals. 2,800 of those healthcare workers are located here in Northern California, according to a Kaiser Permanente bulletin. Those workers include certified nurse midwives, acupuncturists, physician assistants, occupational, speech, and physical therapists, and other skilled employees. Kaiser says its latest offer includes a 21% wage increase, but union workers are also demanding better staffing and improved workplace safety, according to a report from ABC 7 News. In a statement released Saturday, January 25th, Kaiser said, quote, "Our focus remains on reaching agreements that recognize the vital contributions of our employees while ensuring excellent, affordable care," end quote. Union President Charmaine S. Morales noted, quote, "We're authorizing a strike to win staffing that protects patients, win workload standards that stop moral injury, and win the respect and dignity Kaiser has denied far too long," end quote. For the full story, including resources for Kaiser patients, see alamedapost.com/news. If you're looking to get involved and help steer the direction of Alameda County, now's your chance. Alameda County officials are encouraging residents of District 3, including Alameda, parts of Oakland, San Leandro, San Lorenzo, and Hayward Acres, to apply for a 2026 seat on a county board, commission, or committee. The following have positions that are expiring in 2026 or are vacant, according to Supervisor Lena Tam's office: Parks, Recreation, and Historical, Public Health, Reparations, Consumer Affairs, Human Relations, Public Health, Alameda County Arts, and the Eden Area Municipal Advisory Council. For details and application links, see alamedapost.com/news. Be advised the application deadline is tomorrow, Saturday, January 31st at 5 p.m. On the subject of making your voice heard, bus riders and community members are invited to attend a public meeting to learn about the upcoming work on the Oakland-Alameda Access Project, led by Alameda County Transportation Commission and Caltrans. Topics include project benefits, construction details and schedule, detours, traffic management, and communication throughout construction. There are 3 meetings to choose from. There will be one at the Asian Cultural Center in Oakland on February 3rd, Alameda City Hall on February 4th, and a virtual session on the 5th. For project details and links, head to alamedapost.com/news. Sad news for coffee lovers. Coffee Cultures, the popular pour-over coffee spot on the corner of Park and Blanding, known not just for its Java, but also its soft-serve Dole Whip and dog-friendly patio, is closing at the end of the month. The last day will be tomorrow, Saturday, January 31st. On social media, owner Jason Michael Paul, who was born and raised here in Alameda, offered, quote, "An extra special thanks to my hometown for supporting us through the years. We're going to miss serving you and this wonderful community." End quote. The shop will be taken over by new owners who will be using the same coffee. Their first day will be Monday. Story at alamedapost.com/news. With so much overwhelming news these days, good to know someone's doing a little something to brighten up the world. The Kindness Coalition headed out to Park Street last Sunday for their inaugural Kindness Crawl. Members helmed about a dozen stations between Santa Clara and Encinal, offering everything from free homemade baked goods to a listening ear for anyone walking past. Deidre Freeman of the Kindness Coalition summed it up perfectly when she said, quote, "People are hurting, and kindness is an essence that everyone is born with, so we see where we're needed and extend ourselves in ways that are the most helpful," end quote. Story and pictures in Ken Durr's article at alamedapost.com/news. Lots to do this weekend, as she does every week. Amanda Laird has curated the events worth a little extra attention in her all-around Alameda column. Tonight, Friday, head to Alameda Brewing for their relaunch of one of my favorite styles, Mexican lager. The relaunched brew is now known as Pachuco. Also on Friday, the California Historical Radio Society's legendary station celebration for the original Live 105, the station that was playing modern rock before Billboard magazine even had a name for it. I might see you there. On Sunday, the former Bolero celebrates their relaunch as Lucky Strike. Also on Sunday, a Mahjong fundraiser to benefit the Alameda Food Bank. Looking ahead to next week, be sure to check out the Friends of the Alameda Free Library used book sale Wednesday through Saturday. Details in the all-around Alameda column at alamedapost.com/alameda-life. Be sure to get your nominations in for the 2026 Alameda Stars to recognize outstanding local businesses, organizations, and services in the city. Head to alamedastars.com for all the details. Hope you can join me Sunday morning at 8 on KCSM HD2 or streaming on kcsm.org for the latest episode of the Alameda Connection. My guest, Stan Bunger, Bay Area Radio Hall of Famer, Alameda resident, and the author of Mornings with Madden. Find the Alameda Post on all the social media platforms, now including TikTok. Subscribe to us on Apple News and sign up for our weekly news digest at alamedapost.com/email-digest. Get the Postcast wherever you get your podcasts or tell your smart device to play the Alameda Postcast podcast. I'm Scott Peeler, back next Friday with episode 190 of the Alameda Postcast.